Yeah, Vancouver! I can't even say what the best part is. I think the best part was at the border.
You got back in.
I'm just joking. Every place we went to was absolutely, it was just crazy. My fans are the best, and I love you guys. And then we went through like the mountains, and it was like so beautiful. Coming here,
that's Canada. That's Canada.
no, I never knew how.
That's what we got.
I wanted to stop and like take off all my clothes and just jump in the water. But
That's what we do too.
I did, but it didn't. You know, he was going too fast. He's fucking always drinking. You're fucking drunk.
I seen him in Chilliwack doing this last night.
Yeah, he's supposed to be my security.
Yeah.
He's always drinking.
We wondered what you guys were doing. You weren't sleeping at the Coast Hotel. You're
trying to touch me again. Trying to touch me again. I've been watching you. You got the same color shirt I got on, and you fucking with me. You was just now security. We together, man.
Fight him.
Don't cling.
I don't get it.
Then we had fun.
Well, it looks like you've got a lot going on in your life and in your career, and this is obviously a crazy tour bus. I guess what I'm wondering is, a woman in the world of hip-hop, how do you keep your shit together?
Oh my gosh, it's the hardest. We all be so damn tired. You should see us. We be like sleepwalking, right? Putting on that clothes to do the next show. And, you know, we're on a bus sometimes 10, 16 hours. You know, sometimes we're on a bus an hour. I mean, but we're always on a bus. And could you stop playing with yourself, please? So, I mean, you know, it's just hard. But, you know, I love what I do. So I do it. You don't even think about it. It's like when things aren't right. I mean, you'll never know. Like, I mean, just the other day, I'm on my way to the show, and my bra is like, it ripped. And, you know, I'm like having wardrobe malfunctions all over, so I'm like this. Picture it. And then, you know, this one is peeking out, and I'm just like, but see, you have to pay extra for that type of show. Live girls.
How do you find a balance between your femininity and your sexuality as a woman and a very masculine world?
Yeah. Tell me about it. You know, girl.
You got some tricks or what? Like,
I mean, well, us girls always keep it super sexy. It's hard because, you know, when you're super sexy, you just can't help it, and you kind of have to, you know, blend in. And I mean, I hate to say that, but
is that like uplifting for women, do you think, or is it demeaning to conform to the masculine game?
It's, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like you gotta learn how to balance it. You have to learn how to balance it, because the bottom line is power is power. Whoever, you know, I mean, there are a lot of powerful women. Don't get that misconstrued, you know what I mean? But I'm sure in order for them to get to where they have, you know, to where they are now, like Oprah, I'm sure for her to get to where she is now, she had to kind of, you know, blend in with the men. You know, I'm sure she worked for a man. I'm sure of it. I'm almost positive. You know what I mean? At one point in her life, somewhere, somehow. So.
I read that there was a university course on the sexual politics of your music, and that you'd actually guest lectured there.
It's called Queen Bee 101, and it's a credited course, and I don't know if it's still going on, but I think it is. But it's a credited course, so actually you get credit for it. It's literature.
Yeah.
Reading, writing, all of that, and they kind of like take my lyrics and they break it down. And I'm the only female ever to have a class on me. I'm not the only artist. The only other artists that have a class on them is b.i.g and Tupac. And I'm the living legend that has a class on a credited course class on it.
Nice work. You've also been doing a lot of stuff in television lately. Countdown to Lockdown was the highest rated BET show ever.
Yeah, in BET's history, yeah.
And you did Dancing with the Stars, and you did Girlicious. Do you feel like you're transitioning from kind of the edgy, dirty hip-hop world to the mainstream household name, or are you keeping it?
I think I'm becoming exactly who I am. Lil Kim is a very complex person, so I'm mixed with gangster sexiness. So at the end of the day, I'm always gonna keep it Hollywood, because that's just who I am. That's what I represent. I know both walks of life. You know, I grew up in the suburban side. I grew up in the urban side. And that's how I like to balance it, because that's who I am. If I just sat there and said I was straight hood, that would be a lie. If I sat there and say that I was straight Hollywood, that would be a lie. I'm right in between the middle, and that's a good place to be. I'm the meat of the sandwich.
Let's talk a little bit about the future. There's a lot of rumors and gossip on the internet about what's coming up. There's, Rock Nation, Rihanna, stuff like that. What's your next campaign?
Well, I am currently the new face for 3 Olive Vodka. And, I'm not a really big vodka drinker. However, I did taste the purple drink that I'm representing. It was really good, because I like fruity stuff. I always like to feel like I'm on an island somewhere. So, that is exciting for me. And the advertisement pictures will be out soon. So you'll see that. I have a book coming out. It's called The Price of Loyalty. And it's solely about the time that I went to prison. And then we're going to do a short film only about that book.
Can we have a little sneak peek about what life in prison was like?
Well, it's not, it's not what people think. Prison is a mind thing, and you have to be more strong in your mind than physical, because it's not a physical thing. Trust me, it's more of a mind thing. The smartest ones are the ones who are very strong-minded, are the ones who run the prisons. You know what I mean? And for the most part, I kept a very strong mind, and I was well respected when I was in prison, and I had respect, and that's the name of the game. You give respect, you get respect, and I had a lot of friends in prison. When I first got there, they cooked me this big dinner, asked me out of what they made my cake out of. Asked me.
What was it?
They made me a triple layer cake, like a wedding cake, out of Oreo cookies.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. It was a real cake, too. Like a real cake that had the ice and everything. Oh. And then at the top was a high heel shoe, and they made that out of Jolly Rancher candies. It was the best cake I've ever had in my life.
So if you're eating Oreo cake and drinking fruity drinks, how do you keep this body?
Oh, you should have seen me when I came home from jail. My mom was like, "Where's my baby?" I'm like, "Ma." She's like, "Oh." But I'm paying, I don't really try to remain super thin. I just like to remain healthy and in shape. But my guy's like a little bit of meat on me. So at the end of the day, we dance a lot.
Well, I was hoping to end the interview with you sharing an early memory of coming up and something that really influenced you or stuck in your mind.
Well, coming up, I always used to watch b.i.g perform when we were on stage, and he was like the best performer ever. Like, he doesn't, of course he's not going to be up there dancing and stuff, but the thing is that his energy, when he walks in a room, you just feel it. He always knows the perfect things to say. He sounds great, just like his songs, and his energy was just always there. And I learned a lot from being on the road with him and watching him. I learned a lot from being on the road with Puffy too, And so I looked up to both of them. And when I was around, I didn't just, I wasn't just around, but I watched and I observed, and I learned a lot. And so, I remember we were on tour with Mary J. Blige. And that was the first time I had ever met her in the first show we had. And we kind of bumped into each other walking through the door. And she was like, "Lil Kim." And I was like, "Mary J. Blige." And I was her biggest fan. And she was like, "I'm your biggest fan." But I wasn't even that, large at the time. So I'm like, "You know my music? You don't know who I am." I was like, and she was like, and she picked me up in the air. And we became best friends ever since then. And that's, crazy to me. She was Mary J. Blige. She already had two big albums. And I didn't even have an album out at the time, so I had my single was out with Junior Mafia, but I didn't know she knew who I was. And I was like, oh my gosh. I talked about that all night. Everybody had to hear that. We worked really hard, but this, really, we would love to do an even bigger and better show for you guys. And we really appreciate the fact that you said our show is amazing. But we have so many different levels.
It was all about jam rock, straight up, yo.
Yeah!
You're so G. I want to track with you in auto crack, because you girls just would kill it. You touched your face. We seen it. We got on camera.
Little T.
Yo.
Shout out to Little T, yo.
Yeah.
The difference
He is the biggest little deal.
Canada
The
loves
little biggest deal.
Yeah.
Canada's loved you, and they've loved you for a long time.
Really?
Canada loves you.
Oh my God.
And to have Canada love is different, because we don't have, we have, sophisticated love. It's, different.
That's what I'm talking about. Sophisticated. That's all we are.